Indian police have arrested 8 people and are searching for 2 more after an angry mob of about 60 Hindus beat a man to death with sticks and bricks after a rumor surfaced that he may have eaten beef. Now here's what happened, Jose. Now, first off, for Hindus, you know that cows are sacred animals. They're worshipped by a lot of Hindus. So when this temple in the village of Bisara announced that a family in that village had been slaughtering cows and storing them, it got a lot of people angry. So they got together. They dragged 52-year-old Mohammad Aklaq and his son from their home. His son did survive, but unfortunately Mohammed did not. Tensions had been rising in the village for quite some time. What had happened was a few cows had disappeared and a water buffalo too, so people started blaming them. They are Muslim, they're not Hindu, so they don't, you know, they could technically, if they wanted to, given their religion, eat beef. It's not against their religion, so automatically everyone blamed them. Now, police came. The mob didn't want to give the people up. They were very angry. They exchanged a lot of, there was a little like battle that ensued between the villagers and the police. The police actually ended up opening fire. So this turned into this really big situation over one rumor that these people ate meat. And actually the family's claiming that it was mutton, it wasn't actually beef. So the police came in and took samples of the meat for testing. So now they're trying to figure out if it actually was beef. So they're not even sure at this point.
I mean, it's very sad to see these situations where victims, where it's a mob rule that comes and try to bring justice with their own hands, like you mentioned, off of a rumor that came out of a temple in a religious situation, no law, you know, being exerted in this situation, but I do think that we need to give some context to the situation, because right now in different states in India, they've been establishing bans on slaughtering cows. Yeah. And it's a message that the government has been sending to the country. And so this has created the situation for villagers to feel entitled to take justice, because that's what their leaders are saying. Right. And if on top of the politicians, also the religious leaders are claiming that we need to take action in this direction, of course they're going to go and follow, and then what is going to happen if they bring the samples back and it's not beef?
Right. That's just going to, you know, be the saddest thing in the world. I mean, look at the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. He's a Hindu nationalist, for example. You have a lot of hardline Hindus, not him necessarily, that are asking for, you know, beef to be banned from a lot of their states. And I agree with you. That could cause a lot of problems, because a lot of people might say, well, we have backing from the government. We need to start doing more of these vigilante missions and taking matters into our own hands and killing innocent people for suspected beef eating. I think that's extremely sad. I mean, look at Bangladesh, for example, which used to be a part of India. You see these guys going out and finding these bloggers and hacking them to death just because they don't agree with what they're putting on their blogs, because they're promoting atheism, for example, or just even mentioning atheism as a possibility. Now, Bangladesh is a secular nation, so these people were not following any sort of rules. They had no backing from anybody, and they just take matters into their own hands, and they beat people up, or in the cases of a few bloggers, they hack them to death. And it's extremely sad, and I agree with you in that if the Indian government, for example, wanted to put bans in place on beef production, then people would feel more inclined to take action like we already saw here. So very, very sad story. We have opposition lawmaker Shashi Tharoor. He on Twitter said this is a horrific killing. It shows that there's meat bigotry in this country. It's gotten out of control. And he says Indians should be free to eat whatever they want. Let us know in the comments below how you guys feel about this. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Lip TV for more.